Hey guys, James here today and welcome back to another Sims 4 house building video. This is part 2 of the twin townhouses for Sir and Little Big Wallet. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to click on screen or in the description down below or wherever it may be linked, probably in one of those places. And you can go watch part 1, which includes building of the first townhouse and furnishing the first one. Part 2 here includes furnishing the second one and doing all the landscaping. So you may have just seen there very briefly at the beginning, I was trying to put in kitchen cabinets, but the lighting on it was complete, like you can see there. Ever since a couple of updates ago, a couple of patches ago, cabinets for me and a lot of other people, this doesn't happen with everyone. I guess it appears to be some sort of graphics card / driver issue with shaders, because that doesn't affect everyone, but I tweeted about it, other people are having the same problem, and you can see I was even trying to use counters there as cabinets because the color didn't get messed up. But yeah, like the lighting on them, no matter how many lights I put in there, in this particular room, just isn't right. You can see it in the other apartment, it's fine, or in the other townhouse, it's fine. This one is not. I just don't know why. But anyway. Yeah, so trying to mess around with this one. This townhouse is designed for Sir Big Wallet, but that doesn't really mean much because, to be perfectly honest, Sir and Little don't really have that much character development around them, other than the fact that they're, what are they, like third generation Big Wallets? Is that right? I think they're third generation. Yeah, because, yeah, they're third generation Big Wallets. And all they do is earn money in the series. They don't really have a backstory, so I was just kind of making stuff up as I went along. So this lower floor, to make it a little bit different, is much more open plan than the one next door. I was trying to get it a little bit more interesting with some different colors and that, but I wasn't feeling it. It took me a while to sort of settle on what I wanted. You can also see that, like I say, I wanted to use more colors, but it didn't really work out. It does in the end. I think it does in the end. I didn't use the beautiful wood flooring that I keep using in every build, the one I use next. So I love that wood flooring so much. One of the comments last time was like, it was, stop using that flooring. I'm like, but it's so good. Because it really is. It really is. Also, one of my favorite comments from part 1, I guess, of this build, is someone said, "You are the best Sims YouTuber." And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then someone replies, "You could have just said you're," like using the contraction. And someone's just like, this is one of the most useless comments I've ever seen. Lol. I don't know why, but that is it was just so dumb and I loved it. You guys are great. Keep commenting, it's awesome. I thought I'd just whip up the comments a little bit, see what you guys think. Is it weird, someone said, that I don't actually watch you build, but I more listen to your stories? You have a really nice voice. Oh, thank you. I've known for like a long time, a lot of people just use these as like a podcast kind of thing. Because in a way, it really is. It usually ends up me telling stories and occasionally talking about the build. Actually, what I'm doing right here, which has actually already happened, I said actually a few too many times there, is putting things on counters. You know how they always snap to a certain spot? And I did a tutorial on this. I think it was free object placement on counters or something like that. Free object placement on counters, The Sims 4. So basically it's a way to allow you to place items on counters wherever you want and not just in those points it snaps to. The way you do it, I guess to explain it, is to turn on move objects, bb.move objects, then you fill up every single slot on the counter until it won't snap to any point. Then you place another item on another counter so it's the same height. Then you pick up that item and you sort of just move it over the top, and you'll notice that it won't snap to anything, but it will stay at the same height so that you can sort of just put it on the counter. It looks like it's at the same spot. I don't know if it's this tutorial, because I got the freely rotate objects tutorial, but I don't know what the Sims forum is down for maintenance. Thanks, guys. Let me go check out one of my videos.
Hey guys.
Whoa. Did not realize I had the sound on, sorry. And I'm going to leave that in the video because that's just a bit of fun. I actually want to look at the playlist for my tutorials because it will be in there. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, I got it. The Sims 4 tutorial, number 17. Freely place items on desks is actually the name of the tutorial. Really, really handy little thing to do if you want to put more things on counters in different spots and still allow your Sims to use all the sort of counter space. Actually, really good. And also apologies for playing my own video very loudly in the background there. Whoops. Yeah, you can tell I've been doing this for 7 years now because I'm pretty professional. Actually, I think it's nearly 8 years now. because I think it was 7 years this year. Yeah, because I started this channel in 2009, so we're nearly 8 years into this channel. I feel like I probably should be a little bit more professional at some time. You know, just sometimes, not all the time, every so often. But yeah, that's it's a really helpful little tip. And I would suggest if you see me do lots of little things in build mode that you're not quite sure how to do, my Sims 4 tutorial playlist pretty much covers everything that I do when building, or even a few other things. Like it tells you how to install, like there's one about installing mods, there's one about how to create custom paintings in the game, like where you sort of add an image from Google or something into your game, or you add your own artwork on your computer into the game. Like I've done a tutorial on that, which was really, really useful to know for me anyway, and I thought I'd share it with everyone. Got 18 tutorials. I haven't done one in a while because I don't really know what else I would need to do. Let's, you know what? I'm just going to plug a few of my other videos here. Why not? So the first one is advanced counter placement. Ooh, and then number 2, how to scale objects. And then there's roofing tips, quick look at pools, how to use a cinematic camera, which a lot of people always ask about. Actually, I'll go back to the video now because this part I really enjoyed. So with City Living, they added in the social media career where you could be basically a YouTuber or a live streamer. And I was like, and ever since they added that into the game, like properly, I keep wanting to, and I've built actually like studios and that in the game before like that career, and I was like, you know what, this is fun, let's do this. So the idea was that I guess Sir, maybe he's become a YouTuber or a streamer now that he's made it big in the restaurant game. So we've set up this crazy little studio. Like he's just bought this townhouse and he's decided to renovate this second floor into a huge studio. So on one side we have a desk set up, a PC set up with the huge, using the security camera from Get to Work as a webcam. That's what I usually use when I do these, and I've done this a few times before, so it's not new for me. But and then we use that green wallpaper for a green screen. On the other side it was the blue one because I have a pop-up green screen in my room right now that is actually like two-sided. One side's green, the other side's blue. So I thought that's kind of what that was. And then on the other side was the couch and like the console setup, so you could live stream consoles with a friend or something. Then in this room is the other studio that has 2 computers, so you could have 2 people on the live stream playing a multiplayer game next to each other. Then we have a computer off to the side, which is kind of be like would be the producer, the person that's sitting there, you know, running the live stream. You know, so Sir has decided to go all in. He's built this studio. He's got all these studio lights, all these overhead lights, these big sort of black curtains to block the light, because that's generally, if you're going to have a proper studio space that happens to have windows, you need some really good blackout curtains so you can control the lighting properly. Otherwise, it will not work very well. Yeah, and I also kind of just did that on the second floor because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I could do more of the same, but I was like, you know what, this is something different. Not every house has this. And to be fair, there's 2 houses on this lot, so I thought it would be fun just to make this one a little bit different. Then on the top floor of this one, we have the bedroom and the ensuite bathroom, which is not too big, just a 2x3. It's pretty small, actually. And yeah, it was a bit tight to fit everything in there, but it worked, so nothing special. So on the top floor, I mentioned this last time, but when we get to the other room on the top floor here, just off to the right, that's more of a kind of, I guess, party vibe room. It has like a bar in it. And the idea, and I mentioned this last time in part 1, was the idea is that, so on the other side, in the other house, on the top floor is the living room with a TV, and then on this side there's like a bar and like a karaoke machine. So then you could use both of these rooms and use a little bridge connecting the 2 houses as like an entertaining level on the top here, which I thought was a kind of a cool idea. It took me ages to decide what I wanted to do in this room with the rugs, because it just wasn't working, guys. It didn't work. I decided to use that clock from Vintage Glamour. I thought it was kind of cool. I think I said in my my little overview video that I was like, I probably won't use this clock again, but I did, totally did. And I think it looks really cool there. And also that little dresser, which I thought was quite nice. I thought it went with the room. You know, I don't really know what the aesthetic of this room was. It was kind of just like, let me put some cool items in here. Let me put some cool items in here because I think it looks a bit fun. So it has the big built-in wardrobe and just some seating, and just it's a pretty basic bedroom, really. I love the studio floor on this. I think it's cool. When we get to the screenshots at the end, I think it looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. So yeah, I actually wanted to get a much bigger bar in and have like counters and all that, but there actually wasn't really any room. So I decided, you know, let's use a modest bar. Let's just get some bottles on the wall, get plenty of booze, let's stock this place out, and, you know, make it a place to enjoy some drinks. Also, I don't know why that was so loud. I don't know if you heard that. my phone going on to... Why does putting a phone on to vibrate make a lot of noise? Like, okay, so this is... Okay, I don't know if you can... I don't know how loud this is, but... Let's put the phone on silent. Thanks for that, phone. I don't know. This room is kind of a... It's kind of a mishmash, but I feel like it fits Sir and Little. It's a... I don't know. It just seems like here's all the items that need to be somewhere in the house. I thought, actually, so throughout the series as well, we did a lot of painting on easels and that to make additional money. So I thought, you know, and they both have level 10 in painting. So I thought, you know, let's use this room as like a little studio as well, like a painting studio, not a live streaming studio, a painting studio. So we got like that new paint splattered rug and, you know, the big sort of shelving with all the canvas art on it and the easel. So you could come up here, do a nice painting, but you could also have some friends over, have the bar open, do some karaoke, and it'd be a good time. So down the bottom now, doing the landscaping, because we pretty much finished the interior, if I'm not mistaken. I decided each of the houses would have a completely enclosed backyard, but we would, of course, put a fence, or not a fence, a gate between the two. So you can pass between the two, but they could also lock them if they, you know, didn't want their nosy cousin coming by unannounced. But it's there. So, and again, I thought I'd go with the idea of, you know, giving each of these backyards something unique. Well, not unique, but different from each other. So they don't have the same thing. So this backyard has the swimming pool. The other one has a barbecue and a slip and slide. So you could use both backyards and have a great time. You know, throw a party down here. It'd be awesome. You could even rip down the fence if you wanted. I thought the little sort of alley between the two houses was really nice, you know, with the fence there as well. It just, I don't know, it felt like it could be a thing. You know, the fence down the middle. That was quite nice. Yeah, so a little barbecue area. It's really annoying me that I couldn't get the same color of doors and drawers on the barbecue that I could on the counters, and I was a bit upset about that. Oh, this is where I realized I hadn't put any bins in anywhere. I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, and those long-time viewers of mine know that I always forget to put bins in kitchens. And I'll tell you what it is. It's because in every previous Sims game, they always had the trash compactor. And I would always use a trash compactor, which is an appliance, and you do that in the kitchen category. So you just chuck it in the counters. It's like, oh, it was just like, you know, just one of those automated things that I would do. And I do that now with, like, you know, dishwashers and stoves and fridges. And it's like, I always forget to do the bin because it's not an appliance. It is in the kitchen category, but it's just, I always forget it. And I think that's why. I just want, if there's one thing I want in The Sims, and this is not true, if there's only one thing I could have, it would be the trash compactor. And that's not true, but I would like it back. Just because it's The Sims, you know, when people, you know, remember back to The Sims 1, they go like, you remember a few things about The Sims 1. You remember fires and killing people, drowning people in swimming pools, and trash compactors. That's probably also not true. But I think you see my point that I think we need a trash compactor back. I think we need it. I think it's time. It's time. Hashtag save the trash compactor. It's gonna happen, guys. I think it will come back eventually, but to be perfectly honest, it's a pretty useless item considering we have bins that do exactly the same thing. But I just want it, okay? Well, actually, one thing I've always wanted in regards to trash compactors, more realistically, instead of a trash compactor, I want a bin that just goes into a counter. Because not most people, that's not true. A lot of people have bins that are just in the counters. You know, you open the counter, maybe under the sink or wherever it may be, and there's a bin in there, right? A lot of people have that. That's never, ever, ever been a thing in The Sims. There's never been a bin that's just in a counter. If it's in a counter, it's a trash compactor. And while people do own trash compactors, it's much less common than just having a bin in the counter. And I would really like that. That would be good. I would have that over a trash compactor for sure. Anyway, screenshots. Here we are. We're done. So obviously we're just going to whip around the outside. Sir and Little are actually living in these right now as I take these screenshots. You'll see them in a bit when we go into the bedrooms because they're just sleeping in the bedroom in the bed. And I thought, you know, it's sunrise. It was a nice time to take the screenshots because you get all this beautiful lighting and the sun's creating shadows of the trees. And look at all that. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they're similar. The townhouses are similar enough to each other, but also different enough that they look interesting next to each other, but they also complement each other in a way. And I think that turned out quite well. So here is the backyard with the swimming pool. You know, the little diving board, not a board, it's like a diving platform. The slip and slide, which I thought was a fun little addition. You know, you can have some great summer barbecues back there. So this is Little's apartment. I keep calling it apartment, townhouses. So that was the front foyer, living room area, the kitchen area, which I really like that kitchen area. I really like the sort of U-shaped kitchen there, and then the fridge and that on the other side. Here's the parlor upstairs that I wasn't sure about last time. I think it turned out okay. Again, I still think it could have been better. I just don't know how I could have made it better. Really, really don't. So that is the bathroom on the second floor. I don't know where that is. I don't know. This is the spare bedroom for, when any of the family comes to visit, you could use that. Here, I guess, is the main living room on the third floor with the chess table and the TV. I really love this room. I really, really love it. It's one of my favorite rooms, I think, in the entire build. It's really nice. And here is her bedroom. There she is, sleeping in the bed as well. Don't mind us, just coming in to take some photos for a real estate magazine. A flyer, I guess. Don't mind us. That is her ensuite bathroom, which is pretty damn spacious compared to Sir's. She's got a pretty good bathroom. So this is Sir's apartment, the ground floor, the open plan living and kitchen dining. A small little bathroom on the ground floor, nothing too crazy, just enough to be able to use it as a kitchen. I really like this area too. I like the rug and the sort of splash back on the kitchen, like the colors matching there. I really like that. The studio, I love this area. I don't know, it's just interesting. I don't know how useful this space will be. I guess it will be because you got a computer and a TV and all that, but it's just a little bit of fun. I think I think it looks so cool. I would love to have a space like this in real life with just all these like permanent light fixtures and fittings. It'd be so cool. It would be really cool. And then there's a little, I guess, party mishmash area up the top with the bar and the karaoke machine. There's his bedroom. But of course, you can download this over on The Sims 4 Gallery. The link will be in the description down below. You can also just search for The Sim Supply on the gallery, which is the same as my YouTube username, just without the spaces. You'll find it that way, or hashtag The Sim Supply, and you'll find it there. So with this video complete, The Sims 4 Dine Out Rags to Riches Let's Play series, which, in case you don't know, because I don't think I really mentioned it in this video, was a series where we had to go from 0 simoleons to owning 5 5-star restaurants, which we did. Kind of. It got really glitchy at the end, but it kind of worked. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out some more videos, you can click the links on screen right now. You can also click to subscribe or click my face to go check out my website to find out more about what I do. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.